Hello, everybody. My name is Marcel, all the way from the Netherlands. Well, these are perilous times. These are dangerous times, really. And I did study upon something. Actually, I wanted to do a message. I want to give a message about the kingdom that would come, but I was led to read something else, something that I already studied, but now I went through it more in depth, and I knew I had to blow the horn for this one. I had to blow a horn to ring the alarm because what I discovered is major. And actually, what I discovered is more something that is wider than I already could see. So I could see more things detailed on a certain subject. And the subject is America. And I already, in different broadcasts, nailed a few things. I pinned a few things down when it comes to America. And boy, are they in trouble. So God the Father, the creator of heaven and earth, the creator of human beings, animals, fish, and birds the like, is angry at the United States of America. And you will discover why this is. You should agree with me that for a long time, America was the police man, so to say, of this world. It went to Afghanistan after planes went into the Twin Towers in New York, so the World Trade Center. And it was on the 11th of September. That's why people refer to it as 9/11. For those who don't know exactly what happened because they maybe were not born yet, because this is about 23 years ago. So Bush went to war with Afghanistan, claiming that the Afghanistan people flew the plane into the Twin Towers. It was Al Qaeda. So he went after the Al Qaeda, but also searching for a certain terrorist. His name is Bin Laden. They caught him, but it was in the time that Mr. Obama was reigning. But Bush went into Afghanistan. He also went into Iraq, and Mr. Hussein was killed. And Mr. Hussein at that time was the president of Iraq. War broke out in Syria. ISIS came to be about and did many terrorist attacks. But the United States went into this battle, which was a proxy war with, for instance, Russia. They went in there as well to fight in Syria. And actually, by everything that they've done when it comes to wars, so in Afghanistan, Iraq, and Syria, they put their military bases. So it's surrounded around Israel. That's the main thing that we should focus upon. That they set their camps, their military camps, around Israel, based upon the wars that they fought in the Mideast. Keep this in mind. I try to be as clear as can be, and I hope that you can follow the best that you can, because this message is really important. So like I said, America has army bases in the Mideast, based upon the wars that they have fought in the past. Notice that America was also, for a long time and still are, the richest nation on earth. I looked at a chart and I could see that America was at the top for quite a long time. It also has to do with the petrodollar. And you might go on YouTube and or internet in general to find out what petrodollar is about. I many times explained it, but I want to continue with this broadcast because there are many things that I should cover. So if I would ask you, who is the most powerful nation, or who was the most powerful nation for a long time on earth, if you're smart, you would say America. If you know a little bit about history, you have to say America. Like I started, America was the police state of the world. Wherever there was trouble, they were the ones that fixed it in any kind of way that they could, whether it was good or evil. And nobody intervened when they stood up as policemen. Not in Afghanistan, not in Iraq, not in Syria. And what I mean by it, they didn't have to go to court in The Hague, the international court. If it would be others, and you can see with Mr. Hussein, Saddam Hussein, they are being cut off. They have to go to jail. They have to go to The Hague, first go to trial, and then spend a long time in jail. So these things that I now talked about are important for this study to identify America in the Bible. So what we're going to read right now has to do with the time that we live in right now, which the Bible refers to as the end times. And we're going to read in Luke 21, verse 5. And as some spake of the temple, so the disciples, to the Messiah, how it was ordained with goodly stones and gifts. He said, as for these things which you behold, the days will come in the which there shall not be left one stone upon another. So Jesus was referring to a period after his death and resurrection when they would just burn the whole thing down, the whole temple. They would just break it down. And by they, I mean some country or some people that came to run over Israel, to throw them out, to kill many and put some to slaves. And they asked him, saying, Master, but when shall these things be? And what sign there be when the things shall come to pass? So they were asking for a sign. They knew that, okay, Jesus was referring to an end time, to a period that was not, that have not come to pass yet. So they wondered what would be the time of the end and what would be the sign of it. And he said, take heed that you be not deceived, for many shall come in my name, saying, I am Christ, and the time draweth near. Go you not therefore after them. So don't follow those who preach different messages that the Messiah himself did not preach, so which are false messages. But when you shall hear of wars and rumors of wars, that's what it says in different on different accounts, like Matthew and Mark. Here it says, but when you shall hear of wars and commotions, be not terrified, for these things must first come to pass. You should understand that Matthew, Mark, and Luke were as reporters that you know right now that cover the same story, but because they are different and look at it from a different angle, they write down different things. But it's the same subject, and that's why you see that many things are similar, while some things are different. Then said he unto them, nation shall rise against nation, and kingdom against kingdom. So this is world war that it's talking about. First, it was, but you be not troubled but ye shall hear of wars and commotions, be not terrified. So these wars and commotions was what I just described. With America going to war in Afghanistan, Iraq, and Syria. and the commotions are many things that went on. Many terrorist attacks from ISIS. Think of Charlie Hebdo. Think of Andreas Breivik in Sweden. Think of many plane crashes. Think of many tsunamis, earthquakes in diverse places. As we continue, and great earthquakes shall be in divers places, and famines and pestilences, and fearful signs and great signs shall there be from heaven. But before all these, they shall lay their hand on you and persecute you, delivering you up to the synagogue and into prison, being brought before kings and rulers for my name's sake. So this will be persecution that will come. So as we skip, we go to another verse. I want to show you something in verse 20. And when you shall see Jerusalem compassed with armies, then know that the desolation thereof is nigh. And that is something that we could see happening in our time. So he's talking about America encompassing Jerusalem with armies, like I described, in Iraq, in Syria, Afghanistan. Then you know the desolation is near. Are we not seeing this now? Where in the week of the 7th, or October the 7th, I should say, 2023, God told me that the tribulation started. So Hamas went to attack Israel. So again, America sets up its bases. Then you know the desolation is near. So you should have known that the desolation thereof of Jerusalem is near. And isn't it desolate right now? Isn't there a desolation brought upon the world based upon what is happening in Jerusalem, in that area? And about Jerusalem being encompassed with armies by America, we can also read it in Daniel. We go to Daniel 11, verse 40. And at the time of the end shall the king of the south push at him, and the king of the north, which is America, shall come against him like a whirlwind, with chariots and with horsemen and with many ships. And he shall enter into the countries, and he shall overthrow or overflow and pass over. He shall enter also in the glorious land. So he will enter in Israel. And many countries shall be overthrown. This is very important, this message. Again, many countries shall be overthrown. Keep that in mind. And you will know why this is and why it will happen. But these shall escape out of his hand, even Edom and Moab, and the chief of the children of Ammon, which is Jordan. He shall stretch forth his hand also upon the countries, and the land of Egypt shall not escape, but he shall have power over the treasures of gold and of silver, and over all the precious things of Egypt. And the Libyans and the Ethiopians shall be at his steps. But tidings out of the east and out of the north shall trouble him. So tidings out of the east, meaning China and North Korea, and out of the north, meaning Russia, shall trouble him. Didn't we see that happening? Therefore, he shall go forth with great fury to destroy and utterly make war with many. Or here it says, to make away many. And he shall plant the tabernacles of his place between the seas in the glorious holy mountain, yet he shall come to his end, and none shall help him. So you can see he planted his tabernacles, his army bases, all around Israel. Again, Afghanistan. Think of Afghanistan, Iraq, Syria. When the war was fought there, that's why he sets up his army bases. I keep repeating it for emphasis and to stick to the storyline. So he puts his army bases round about Israel. That here it says the tabernacles between the seas of the glorious holy mountain, which is Jerusalem. But Jet shall come to his end, and none shall help him. Because then we can read that the kingdom will be set up. And at the time shall Michael the archangel stand up, the great prince, which standeth for the children of thy people. So that is the black race, and actually those are brown people originally, who are the true Israelites, like Dr. Martin Luther King. And there shall be a time of trouble for the tribulation, such as never was since there was a nation, even to that same time. And at that time, thy people shall be delivered, everyone that shall be found written in the book. So that's when the kingdom shall be set up. Well, let me just stop right here, because I want to stick to the subject of America being the aggressor, because that's something that God is angry about, and that will bring total destruction. Of course, he's angry about many sins that they committed. That's in the basis of what he's angry about. But I want you to understand why America will make war with many. So listen to this specialist on war matters, and he will give an insight upon what lays in the basis of America wanting to annihilate as much as they can.
You know, I used to have a friend named William Polk, and I say used to because tragically he passed away a couple of years ago. But William Polk was a man who was in the inner circle for John F. Kennedy during the Cuban Missile Crisis. And he talks about, and he's talked to me many times about the decision making that was going on and the role that Kennedy played in preventing a nuclear war, the maturity Kennedy had as a leader. Part of that maturity came from when Kennedy was first briefed on what was then called the Single Integrated Operation Plan, the PSYOP, the American War Plan. He went to the Pentagon and they briefed him. They said, this is, if we go to nuclear war, this is what we got. And basically, it was premised on the notion that America will be the largest surviving civilization, but in order to guarantee that, we have to kill everybody in the world. And he came out and said, that's insane. I'm not doing that. And he turned to his advisor. He said, and we call ourselves the human race. And he said, you have to give me options. Every president since then, or up until George W. Bush, reacted the same way. When they first got that briefing on how America plans to go to war, which is to destroy the entire world so that when the 20 to 30% of America that survives will be the largest remaining civilization cluster in the world, guaranteeing American global dominance in a post-nuclear conflict. Insanity. They all said the same thing. Insane. Give me options. I can't go to that. You can't make me do this. You have to give me options. And the Pentagon always gave them options that inevitably led to that.
And whoever will be in office, so rather it will be Mr. Trump or Mr. Biden will be replaced before the elections in November 2024, whoever it will be will go to war with many nations, with many countries, for the purpose that you just heard. We can also read it in Daniel chapter 7, verse 7. Here is being described a beast, which is also being described in Revelation. Well, we'll get to that. But there is a beast being described here, a fourth beast, meaning the fourth kingdom that would reign on earth, who will be the policeman of this world before the Messiah will come and set up his kingdom. So this fourth beast is being described as being dreadful. Listen, after this I saw in the night vision, and behold, a fourth beast, dreadful and terrible and strong exceedingly. And it had strong great iron teeth. It devoured and brake in pieces and stamped the residue with the feet of it, and it was diverse from all the beasts that were before it. And it had 10 horns. Well, before this kingdom, this last beast that was set up, there were, like it says, different kingdoms, three different ones. So first was Babylon in the time of Daniel, who wrote this book. So he had at that time a king upon him, ruling upon him in Babylon. So it's Nebuchadnezzar. So it was Babylon. Then came the Medes and the Persians. Those were the Russians and the Iranians. And after that came the Greek under Alexander the Great. So, and then we have this fourth kingdom, that is America, which is also described as people being Chaldeans. As we go to Daniel 7, verse 19, so we skip a few verses, then I would know the truth of the fourth beast, which was diverse from all the others, exceeding dreadful, whose teeth were of iron and his nails of brass, which devoured, brake in pieces, and stamped the residue with his feet, and of the 10 horns that were in his head, and of the other which came up, and behold, before whom 3 fell, even of that horn that had eyes, and a mouth that spake very great things, whose look was more stout than his fellows. I beheld, and the same horn made war with the saints. So he persecuted the saints. Keep this in mind. And prevailed against them, until the ancients of days came, and judgment was given to the saints of the Most High, and the time came that the saints possessed the kingdom. You see? So this kingdom, the fourth beast, is the last kingdom that is the police state of this world. It was dictating this world before the kingdom of God will be set up, with the Messiah coming back on earth and reign in this kingdom. Thus he said, the fourth beast shall be the fourth kingdom upon earth, which shall be diverse from all kingdoms, and shall devour the whole earth, and shall tread it down and break it in pieces. So, and this beast that we could read about in Daniel 7 is the same beast of Revelation 13. As we read, Revelation 13, verse 1, and I stood upon the sand of the sea, and saw a beast rise up out of the sea. So this is a vision, having 7 heads and 10 horns. There it is again. And upon his horns 10 crowns, and upon his heads the name of blasphemy. And the beast which I saw was like unto a leopard, and his feet were as the feet of a bear, and his mouth as the mouth of a lion. And the dragon gave him his power, and his seat, and great authority. I want to pause right here because I want to describe something that I forgot to say about the beast that Daniel saw, which is the same beast actually. But what Daniel was looking at is an AI robot. Keep this also in mind. As we continue, verse 3, in Revelation 13, and I saw one of his heads as it were wounded to death, and his deadly wound was healed, and all the world wondered after the beast, and they worshipped the dragon, which gave power unto the beast, and they worshipped the beast, saying, who is like unto the beast? Who is able to make war with him? Nobody stands up against America. For a long time, nobody stood up. Now we only can see Russia doing this. But still, they did not go to war. We still have to engage into this Third World War. As we continue, verse 5. And there was given unto him a mouth speaking great things and blasphemies, and power was given unto him to continue 42 months. So it's 3.5 years. And he opened his mouth in blasphemy against God, to blaspheme his name and his tabernacle, and them that dwell in heaven. And it was given unto him to make war with the saints. So this is persecution again, and to overcome them. And power was given him over all kindreds and tongues and nations, and all that dwell upon the earth shall worship him. Well, this persecution that we are talking about right now, the persecution that came over all the saints, there will be another persecution, but one already took place. It was in the 60s, in the 50s and the 60s. But even before that, when there was slavery, and after that, segregation. Think of Martin Luther King. If any man have an ear, let him hear. He that leadeth into captivity shall go into captivity. He that killeth with the sword shall be killed with the sword. Here is the patience of the faith of the saints. Well, this is it for now. In part 2, you will hear what the end will be of the United States of America. Till next time.